Hello, this is Paola. So lovely to connect again and to talk to you about a couple of things. One is how can we surrender fear and how can we access a bigger, wider perspective about life or things that make us scared. And the second thing is how can we see or view healing in a different way? These two things are actually connected, and I'll explain why in a minute. When I'm shooting this video is the 4th of April 2020, and we're in the middle of the pandemic. Italy has been really hit, and especially the north of Italy, where I was born. One of my best friends is seriously ill with the coronavirus. She's a medical doctor, a geriatrician, and she got this virus from her patients that she was treating. But unfortunately, she got seriously ill, and she's still quite ill. And I found myself a couple of nights ago really worrying for her, not being able to sleep, and asking God, the divine source, please heal her from this place. And I realized that I was actually coming from a place of fear, which is also a place of separation. I was viewing myself and her as separate from love, the divine, the whole, grace, everything. And I was viewing her as if she was small and fragile and bad things could happen to her. So when I realized that I was coming from that perspective of separation, I did a conscious thing, which is the tool that I'm about to share with you. How can we release fear and access a higher awareness? And the things that I did consciously was to surrender. Surrender my human part that was scared to my higher self. But not from a place of making that human part wrong or judging myself for being in fear, from a place of deep compassion. And so in that surrender, there was like an opening for my higher self to come through. I surrendered to my higher self. My higher self then had an opportunity to come with clarity about the whole situation. And so I was invited to see how, from a perspective of oneness, she's already whole and complete. Her soul knew that she would go through this challenge, and that there must be a beautiful gift on the other side of it for her. More awareness, more understanding, more compassion, more awakening. So the concept is, if we really realize that we are in fear, we have a tool now, which is simply surrender. Surrender to our own higher self with love and compassion and patience. And you will see that the deeper perspectives will come through. And this is how we link to the second concept, which is the traditional way of seeing healing, and maybe a bigger truth about that. Traditionally, we've been seeing healing as from a perspective of separation again, seeing people as broken and needing fixing, and therefore maybe asking God or angels or even Reiki energy or the divine to do this work for us, and to bring about wholeness. So again, this is a perspective which is limited, and it comes from a consciousness of separation, and it's not really what's in the highest. What if the bigger truth was to actually see healing as an activation process? The real healing happens when we witness the other person as whole and complete already connected with Source, already capable of communicating directly with Source. We witness their body in their full potential. And the beautiful thing is that when we witness things in their full potential, they actually come about. This is how powerful we are. And it's interesting that quantum physics is actually coming to the same conclusion that some of the more advanced spiritual concepts. And for example, quantum physics is showing how the observer can influence reality at a subatomic level. So if an observer observes a certain experiment, and you can look up the double slit experiment if you like, a particle, which is in either a wave or a particle, behaves like a particle. If an observer is not looking, this thing, which is in its full potential, behaves like a wave. In other words, not landed in three-dimensional reality yet. So this really shows how if there is a consciousness that observes a reality, it activates that reality. So if you as a consciousness witness your friend, your mom, your sister, anybody in their full potential, you actually help them along the way. In the same way, when we witness our children in their full potential, they actually naturally blossom. But if we don't witness them in their full potential and we project an energy of you're not good enough, they don't blossom. So how wonderful that we all have the power to witness everything in their full potential. For individual healing, for healing, helping people along the way. And we can now use the same word healing, but in a more advanced and a higher perspective. Or even for the healing, so-called healing of the world. Today, the 4th of April, there was an organized meditation going on for the healing of the world. But what I noticed is that a lot of the energy that was behind that was an energy of separation again. There is something wrong in the world, the pandemic, so let's come together and pray God the divine to fix this problem. And what if there was another perspective, which is this is the perfect divine plan. We all knew that this would happen on a soul level, and we are here for the challenge. We knew that the world needed a reset in a very powerful way, an awakening call, wake-up call. And what if we can all step up to the challenge? And how can we do that? By witnessing the world in its full potential. And it's already happening. People are stepping into their heart. People are kind and generous. They're staying at home for the sake of the weak and elder. Lots of acts of generosity are happening. The earth itself is healing. What a wonderful thing. So if we witness everything in humanity in its full potential, thanks to this challenge and in its awakened state, we can only help humanity along the way. And this is how powerful you are. You can do that, and then the meditation is going to be really powerful. When you come from a place of oneness, not from a place of separation. So I hope that this was clear enough. If you have questions, of course, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll be happy to answer. And of course, if you would like personal assistance in your awakening path, through any challenges, you would like any clarity about anything, then I'll be happy to help you with coaching sessions. And if you would like to witness the power of healing in this new upgraded concept of how a body and a being witnessed in their potential can really blossom, then you're welcome to experience Reiki, which can be done at a distance as well. And so just contact me and I'll be happy to do that for you. Sending you lots of love and many, many blessings.